So when I was in high school, a lot of the cool teachers would let the seniors out early last period so they could run to their cars and just go home. But my school had this janitor who everyone called Patchy because he had an eye patch. And before anyone comes for me, it was used endearingly and he knew about it and he called himself Patchy. Anyway, Patchy did not like when the seniors left early and he would zip around on his golf cart like around the parking lot trying to stop people from leaving early. Now the gig was if Patchy caught you and was able to stop you from leaving, like going in front of your car or like driving his golf cart into you, he would give you a detention slip and you weren't able to leave early and you would stay after school. So the funniest thing would be at like 2:30 p.m. you would see the seniors like crawling like underneath cars, hiding behind bushes. Some people would just go sprint into the parking lot and try to outrun Patchy and his golf cart. And the best is if like someone got caught by him while he was handing out the detention slip, everyone would run.
My mom once rushed to the mall to buy me black tights last minute before my dance recital began because I had ripped mine during tech rehearsal and was freaking out backstage. I got a text a few minutes before showtime saying she was waiting outside the theater with new tights, and I was so touched by this gesture that I was on the verge of tears. But when I ran outside to tell her how grateful I was, she immediately chewed me out for not being more careful about ripping the expensive tights she had originally bought me. I was so stunned by her wrath that it took away any appreciation of this kind gesture. Instead, I was hurt at how she expressed herself and begrudgingly thanked her as I grabbed the shopping bag and sprinted back to the dressing room. I come back to that memory when I catch myself feeling awkward during sentimental moments with my husband because I tend to ruin it by saying or doing something unflattering that might put him down. One time while we were hiking with family, he made an effort to do something sweet, and instead of accepting the wholesomeness of it all, I tensed up, made faces, and threw sarcastic comments at him. I saw how quickly it ruined his mood, and I didn't know how to take back that moment to redo it in a way that could show him how much I actually appreciated him. Now when someone does something kind for me or merely compliments me, I ignore the instinctive need to say something abrasive and try to accept it with gratitude instead.
If you ever want to wear a wig, don't do what she did. Talia bought a wig one day that didn't fit, but instead of returning it, she did something that quickly became terrifying. She came up with an unusual idea. This was her first mistake. She searched for ways to alter the wig herself. Then she went into her mother's room, took out a sewing kit, and began working. But Talia actually decided to put the wig on first and sew it in front of a mirror. She thought this would make sure the size was perfect. Afterwards, she was actually really satisfied with the result. Then that night, Talia went to take the wig off, but the wig seemed to feel much tighter than before. But she had school early tomorrow, so with one pull, she took the wig off. Then without looking, she put it in her closet. That night, she woke up to a wet sound ringing in her ear. She tried to go back to sleep, but realized that her dog had come onto her bed. She pet her dog and went back to sleep. It wasn't a big deal. But the next morning, she noticed something strange in her closet. The wig didn't look the way it did before. It was covered in pieces of blood and skin. Then Talia went into the bedroom and turned around. She realized that she had sewn her own scalp into the wig, then ripped it off. In the back of her head, she could see her own skull. Then she realized why there was a wet sound ringing in her ears last night, and she began screaming.
Alrighty guys, my nails are too long, so it's time for a trim. After I cut them flat, I cut the sides as well to make them more narrow so there's less to file down. I then file the sides in one way and making sure the file is going in a downward curve motion. I also make sure to even out the sides. I trim my nails about every 3 weeks and reshape them to almond.
I was working a night shift, and around 7, a woman walks in and asks, "Do you guys have a bathroom?" "Yes, but it's employees only." "I really have to go. Can you please let me use it?" "Sorry, I can't, but the next door shop has a public one." I couldn't let her in for 2 reasons. One is that the door locks on the inside. 2, there is a closet that contains private stuff. She left, then came back 5 minutes later. "You have to let me in or I'm just gonna do it on the floor. I can't hold it." I was like, oh hell no, 'cause I'm the only employee and I would have to clean it. Go, but don't lock the door and make it quick. I tried keeping an eye out, but customers kept rolling in. For 15 minutes straight the shop was packed and this woman wouldn't come out. Finally it tamed down and I went to check on her. If you were giving birth, the baby would have popped out by now. What's taking you so long? Ma'am, don't play with me. I tried opening the door.
I get a lot of questions about my nails, so I thought I'd just talk through the process. So firstly, they remove my old set and prep my nails for a new one. So the first thing they do is apply new tips. Then they begin filing. So every time I ask for almond nails, but not too pointy. After that, they apply the acrylic powder, making sure that it's not too thick so that it looks really nice and natural. Then they just file them again, and then they use the electric drill to go over the top to make sure they're nice and smooth. I chose Bubble Bath this time, which is one of my favorite colors. So here they're just applying a base coat, and then I went in with 2 coats of Bubble Bath, and it just gets cured in the LED lamp. And then after that they do a top coat and then cuticle oil to finish it off. And yeah, that's basically it. This is what my nails look like afterwards. I love them and I hope this helps.